नमस्कार, खास मुलाकात में आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आज हमारे खास मेहमान हैं एलॉन उशपिज, एम्बेसडर ऑफ इजराइल टू इंडिया। वेलकम टू खास मुलाकात।
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
मैं आपसे पहले ये पूछना चाहूंगी कि एम्बेसडर ऑफ इजराइल राजस्थान में क्या कर रहे हैं? Though you're most welcome in Rajasthan, but still I would like to know कि what is the ambassador of Israel doing in Rajasthan in Jaipur?
Well, to begin with, it's always a pleasure to be in Jaipur, and it's always a pleasure to be in Rajasthan. Specifically, nevertheless, in spite of the pleasure involved, in about an hour from now, we will be laying the foundation stone for one of the centers of excellence, the agricultural centers of excellence that we and the government of Rajasthan are establishing together here in Rajasthan. This specific one in Basi is focused on pomegranates. It is part of a larger design, and we hope that in the coming months this center will show the outcome to the people of Rajasthan. Obviously, there is a third purpose beyond Basi and the pleasure. Whenever we come here, it is our habit and the habit of the people of Rajasthan, the government of Rajasthan, to explore additional things that we can do together.
हम पहले तो ये आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि ये एग्रीकल्चर सेंटर्स ऑफ एक्सीलेंस क्या हैं और इनके पीछे क्या मुद्दा है. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर दीज एग्रीकल्चर सेंटर्स ऑफ एक्सीलेंस? व्हाट इज द एम बिहाइंड देम?
Centers of excellence are platforms for agriculture that are designed to do two things. A, they are designed to bring together Indian and Israeli farmers.
Okay.
While working jointly on Israeli agriculture technology, bringing it to the ground, to the center of excellence, and then Rajasthan's people take this technology, modify it and adapt it to the local conditions. We do not do copy-paste. Although there are some similarities between Israel and Rajasthan, we do not take what we have in Israel and do 100% of it identical in Rajasthan.
Right.
Your people modify, adapt it to your local conditions, and then move it to farmers. C, the most important thing to understand, this whole operation is designed to do one thing: increase productivity.
Okay, now coming down to a very basic question concerned with this is first is that why specifically pomegranates? Anar hi kyun? And was this fruit decided by mutual consent, or this is something Israel has done good work in, so they thought let's try with something like this first?
I said that we do not do copy paste.
Right.
The other thing that we do not do, even not an inch of it, is that we do not come from the outside and tell the people of Rajasthan or the people of Bihar or the people of Tamil Nadu, you have to do A or B or C. That's not our habit. The fields, the crops, and the places are decided by you.
Okay.
It's your country, it's your agriculture, it's your food culture. We are not going to come from Tel Aviv or from the Golan Heights or from Jerusalem or from the Negev, the desert of the Negev in the south, and tell you, you have to do wheat. This is not going to work. It's going to end up with a failure and a lot of frustration. So the government of Rajasthan has decided to do right now 3 things with Israel. One of them is pomegranates, the other one is citrus in Kota,
Okay.
and the third thing is dates in Jaisalmer. Once again, we do not decide. It's you and your elected officials who decide, and we are more than happy, if we can, to collaborate on these things.
Israel has been collaborating and working with Rajasthan on a lot of other sectors also. I will talk about them in detail. But for the last 1.5 to 2 years, the inputs or the suggestions or the training or whatever your knowledge that you have imparted to the agriculture sector and to the farmers, is it showing an effect? This is what we would like to know, but after a short break. हम ब्रेक के बाद अभी वापस आते हैं. आप लोग देख रहे हैं खास मुलाकात. ब्रेक के बाद आप सभी का स्वागत है. So, is the collaboration in the agriculture sector showing some positive results according to you?
Yes. Productivity is rising.
Okay.
We have other places in India in which we do these kind of things, and in some cases the delta between the starting point and where we stand today is hundreds of percentage, which gives also a better market.
Definitely.
And also a better living condition to the people involved. But more than this, I think I'm afraid it might be a mistake to look at it as a snapshot rather than as a maybe I should call it a Bollywood movie of a couple of years, because in our minds, agriculture is a holistic process. You don't deal only with the crops. You deal also with techniques. You deal with fertilizers, with water. You deal with greenhouses. You deal with all the usage of plastics in agriculture. You do a lot of work in post-harvest, which is a huge challenge.
And you deal with people.
And you deal with people.
True.
Now, the thing with the people is probably the most important ingredient, because we can bring the technology. If we do only this, bring the technology and leave, this is going to be a very short-lived experience. So what we do is basically with you is create, usually in most cases, a triangle of, at the center you have this technological component, but you have a triangle in which you have an Indian farmer, an Indian scientist, and extension services comprised usually of Israelis and of Indians. And this triangle gives the farmer and gives the product and gives the market a shepherding process that is usually taking a couple of years. Why is it that important? Because this process that lasts for a couple of years makes it much more viable and then lasting experience. And from our point of view, the education, the knowledge, the experience that all these three parts of the triangle take with them is much more important than a greenhouse or a drip irrigation. We invest a lot of effort, energy, and money into this, because we bring also people from Israel on almost every couple of months. We have an expert from Israel coming to India and doing something. A couple of weeks ago, we had a superb expert on dates visiting Jaisalmer and looking into the 92,000 trees of dates that you are cultivating. As we speak, there is a private sector venture, also in Basi, involving an Israeli expert on olives, actually two of them. It's the first time, almost one of the first time, that we take Israeli olives out of Israel and plant them anywhere in the world. India is an exception. 78,000 olive trees from Israel. We have already tasted the first production of olives from this place.
And how does this Rajasthan soil suiting them?
Actually, it's working so far quite well. We'll know for sure by next year. Obviously, the colder it is, the better the olives are. But still, we have one full year in order to see how it works. And just one last, not even advice, a recommendation. I strongly urge ourselves and your viewers, do not look at it as a quick fix or a silver bullet. This is a process, a mutual learning process, because we also, when we come here, we go back with all kinds of lessons that we implement afterwards on ourselves.
नहीं, वो आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि इसको एक दूरदर्शिता से देखें हम. We should see it as a long term process, short term gains नहीं कि आज हमारे हाथ में क्या आ रहा है, हमें ये देखना है कि हमारे हाथ में कल क्या आएगा, what we will get tomorrow out of this.
Right.
राजस्थान और इजराइल की मिट्टी एक सेमी एरिड रीजन है, दोनों में बहुत सिमिलैरिटीज़ भी हैं. तो एग्रीकल्चर में और किस किस सेक्टर में आप लोग काम करना चाहते हैं? लुकिंग एट द सिमिलैरिटीज़, लाइक दे बोथ आर सेमी एरिड रीजन्स, what other sectors are you working on in Rajasthan?
There are three main issues that are tremendously important for us. I believe they are indispensable elements in the relations between the government of Rajasthan, the people of Rajasthan, and ourselves. And this is obviously based on it's not only things we share like semi-arid things, it's also about the chemistry between the people of Rajasthan and the people of Israel. Let me start with something which is, I know that is important for you, and I certainly know is important for us. We have every year 43,000 Israelis coming to India. And actually India has also become the #1 country of origin in Asia for people visiting Israel.
We would like to know, are the Israelis just coming as tourists or to look for business? लेकिन एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद हम जानेंगे कि जो इजरायली मेहमान हमारे यहाँ आ रहे हैं, क्या वो पर्यटक की तरह आ रहे हैं या यहाँ बिजनेस के लिए. लेकिन एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद हम अभी वापस आते हैं. ब्रेक के बाद आप सभी का स्वागत है. all of you are welcome. But we would like to know that what is it that attracts you to India? The business proposals you were talking about, or the tourism sector?
Well, I think we're talking about a cocktail,
Okay.
which is the healthiest combination of both. I think you have more than 20,000 Israelis every year coming to Rajasthan because it's a wonderful place and it reminds us of home. But there are business opportunities here. There are business opportunities here in agriculture that we've spoken about. There are also business opportunities here in water and in renewable energy. With your permission, I would like to elaborate on that.
Please.
When I'm in Rajasthan, I don't have to explain the importance of water. This is something that when we see your faces, when we speak about water, we can identify our own faces.
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि जल हमारे लिए जीवन है. Water is life, and Rajasthan's development is focused on water and the serious lack of it, very frankly.
So we are very much privileged to have you as partners in water. It's not only water in irrigation like drip irrigation, which is becoming more and more popular. And it's not about desalination, which we're doing in other parts of India. It is about not losing water. In Israel, we lose less than 10% of what we put into the pipes. Okay. And that's tremendously important because, as you said, water is life, and water is almost a value that we cherish. We cannot afford losing too much water. We have the technology and we are more than willing to share it with our partners in Rajasthan. And the second thing, which I find tremendously important, and I also think is, if you will be willing to adopt it, all the technology we use in this process of recycling water from sewage to agriculture. In Israel, we use 75% of our sewage water back into agriculture.
75%.
And we can bring it even to the level of drinking water. We do not do that, but we use it in agriculture. This is something that I've been discussing in length and in detail with the chief minister this morning, and also with the relevant ministers in the last 48 hours. We have some cutting-edge technology. We have some very good Israeli companies that are doing these kind of things, private sectors and public sector companies. I strongly believe in the viability and the relevance of these solutions to Rajasthan, whether it is agriculture or urban development sector.
True.
Last but not least, you have wonderful sun.
Yeah, and sun and wind both, but are we really cashing in on it, in spite of what Jaisalmer, Barmer and Jodhpur, the solar city?
I think if you look at it in relative terms, the whole field of renewable energy from a global point of view is only at its beginning. And I think we can collaborate in this, and basically with the aim of enlarging the percentage of renewable energy out of what we use as energy, and also lowering the price. And the green effect of it, the environmental effect of it, is a bonus. So if you combine all of this, agriculture, tourism, energy and water, which is really, I believe, a strategic backbone of the whole thing, I think it's a good thing for an Israeli ambassador, and certainly for an Israeli tourist or a businessman to come to Jaipur or to Jaisalmer or to
come to Rajasthan.
To come to Rajasthan, right.
Like I said, a lot of similarities between Rajasthan and Israel. और उन्हीं में से एक और जो चीज़ है जो हम दोनों में बहुत कॉमन है कि बहुत सारा बॉर्डर का एरिया एक ऐसे देश के साथ लगता है जो हमारा मित्र नहीं है. Like Israel, India is also has a border touching nations which are not friendly. So, and the same thing in Rajasthan. So, are you giving any pointers about that also?
Well, let me say that one of the comforting things about this very difficult fight against terrorism is that from time to time you reach places in which, when you speak the language of counter-terrorism, you see on the face of your partner that he understands exactly where you stand and where you come from. And India in general, and Rajasthan in particular, are one of these places. Now, frankly, and I apologize for this, defense, homeland security are not issues that we discuss in the open in detail, but nevertheless, let me say the following. India and Israel have reached, I think, in the last 20 years, a conclusion that we are partners in existential issues. We cooperate in agriculture, we cooperate in water, in renewable energy, in affordable healthcare, all these things. Now, the minute you reach such a decision, such a conclusion, the livelihood, the well-being of the citizens of your partner, of your existential partner, is becoming also something important for you. And obviously, you and us face some similar challenges also on the front of counterterrorism.
Yes, we do.
We have our expertise, we have our bitter experience, and we have also our technological solutions. And the minute one reaches a decision that he deals with a partner, he also shares with him all kinds of things. But this, once again, it is a long-term process. The other side is also not sitting idly in his seats and giving up the fight. And B, it is a mutual process, because as much as I hope you learn from us, I am 100% certain that we also learn from you, and we take back all kinds of lessons that make us better in this effort.
Last question. We're at the end of the program. आखिरी सवाल आपसे, आपको राजस्थान के बारे में सबसे अच्छा क्या लगता है? What do you like best about Rajasthan?
Oh, that's a very easy one. The people. You see, it's an interesting thing about human beings. We travel all these tens of hours of flights and thousands of miles or kilometers, and at the end of the day, we are the happiest when we reach a place that its people and its scenery reminds us of ourselves.
What a wonderful way of putting it.
So, you go out to the street in Jaipur or in Basi or in Jaisalmer, or you go on a jeep drive in the desert of Rajasthan. For Israelis, it's like...
It reminds you of home.
Yeah, it's like going out of your living room and spending some time in the outside. I think that's the best thing. Now, obviously, you have your history, which is an amazing thing. You have your outstanding ability for diversification, which I believe is a source of strength. The hunger